Hey guys, before the video starts, I'd like to tell you guys that I'm having to use a different editing software, and my audio from my microphone did not record. So today is going to be a tutorial on how to build a sloop, or whatever boat you want. You just follow these steps. And what I've done here is I've kind of gone ahead and built a frame using spruce wood as the hull, or the body. The dark oak is um, representing a change in elevation where the tank is going to be, and the birch is for the mast shapes and how I'm kind of planning on how the sails to be. Uh, so just follow these, and we can build a boat. I do apologize for any glitches in this video, like my keyboard and mouse were acting up. I need to get a new CPU, and I know it's been a while since I've last posted, but I was getting some upgrades, and I still need to upgrade my CPU. Hopefully that will come soon, so I can do this more often. Sorry for this, but yes, I've been fiddling around with boats, and that's the last one I've done. And I saw on YouTube that there weren't that many boat tutorials that looked nice out there, so I thought I'd try it on my own. So I'm gonna build here a sort of rafter, and I'm doing this to get a body shape. And this video will be a lot of fiddling around with body shape, and then at the top there I like to curve it back in just like that. So in the end it's gonna look kind of like a comma, I guess. And you're gonna want to leave that one block tang at least on the bottom. Right? So I spaced them 3 blocks apart, just like that. You can see I'm checking my CPU to see what's up. I'm gonna attempt to edit this, so I don't know how to use this editing software. Alright, so now what I'm doing is I'm changing an elevation, making it thin out in the back. Getting ready for that at least. And I've decided that I didn't like that, apparently. This is the night after. So, I've never done a commentary or a voiceover, I guess. So we'll see how this plays out. But I'm going to follow that shape there. And I'm going to keep that one curved in because the front starts to curve in around there. And now you're gonna start seeing it shape a little bit. Then we're gonna just follow it around. So 3 blocks away from that, you're gonna place a support beam. And this one's gonna be a bit thinner. Right? And it's gonna curve up just like that. There we go. And towards the front, I like having the tang kind of widen out. And don't worry, the masts will also change. And the oak is also supposed to be the deck. And now what I'm doing here is basically getting the curvature of the boat kind of planned out. So I'm going to fiddle around with the shape, and I've came to that shape that I like there. Right, and you're going to pull it back at that elevation. Right, now here's the trickier part, is when you're going to start messing around with the elevation change there. You want to not put anything where that dark oak is. Avoid that. Avoid messing with it, at least. You're just going to continue thinning out the back, starting beams from there, and you're going to raise that one up 1, since you have a significant change in the elevation of the deck. Do the same one there, just like that. And one more in the end there, maybe? No, okay. So I'm going to build this ship in a half. If you guys are doing this, then if you don't have world edit, then you build it full circle. But since I rolled it in, I'm going to use that to my advantage and only build half and then flip it around, as you'll see later on in the video. Alright, so it should be looking something like this. Alright. This boat is also modeled after a sloop. What I would recommend is finding a ship you like and kind of basing it off that. That's what I did here. I looked at a picture, kind of developed the shape, the outline, and then I like bulking up. Alright, so you're going to basically tier it from here. You're going to want to kind of keep it thick enough. Make sure it bulks up in the middle section like that. You're going to see me fiddling with it. I don't know what I just did there. And you're going to see some people kind of interject in the middle of this. Yeah, he TPs and then he's going to just fly over. Ignore that. And he's going to teleport and I'll have to explain to him what I'm doing. It's ironic because he stood there the whole time I was doing this and watched me make this. And sorry if my commentary's not great. I built this. It's the next day. So I don't remember everything that was going through my head at that point. But you're going to want to raise that up. Have it kind of curve up like that. You're filling these walls. And don't worry, I'm going to add more detail. Oh, there goes. My keyboard and stuff was acting up there. I wasn't sure how this was going to play out in video. And that won't be the last time. That's only one of about 10 to 15 other times that happens. Alright. Wow, 7 minutes in already. Sorry guys that I'm just continuously checking on that. Back to this, I'm gonna continue placing the wood and just starting to curve it up and make it a little bit more dynamic for pushing the water out. And what I've noticed about boats is they always bulk up in the front. So they have a thin layer to split the water and then they bulk up in the front. And I guess that's so that once it goes back and it's so thin that it propels it with force. Here he is TPing. About to have to type to him and explain what I'm doing. And if I haven't explained, I play on a server, the World Civ server, where I build the boats for it. And I traditionally don't like coloring the sails, but that's what they want to do. They want me to do that. And I'm sorry for the poor quality if it is poor quality. It's kind of what I'm having to deal with right now. I'm going to work on changing what software I use. So I've decided, even though I like to curve it in a little bit, I decided that I want to kind of make it go outward there and make it look a little bit more interesting. It's always good to have a change in design every once in a while. If you're interested in the World Civ server, I will list the IP down in the description below. Right. So now you're getting the rough body kind of in shape. And I'm going to just fiddle around with it for a second more, kind of try to figure out a shape that I like. And I'm very pleased with the way it came out in the end. It looks really nice in my opinion. It's one of my favorite ones that I've done recently. And I can do a lot more other tutorials. If you guys want a specific style, just tell me. And in the distance, you can see the blue one was my second attempt. The one with purple sails was my first boat. And I'd say I'm about on my 7th or 8th boat, or big boat at least. And there goes my mouse keyboard again. I don't know why that is. If anyone knows, leave me a comment in the comment section below. And I usually don't put stairs that low because of the fact that water doesn't like to cooperate with stairs, and at least the air bubble look. But for look purposes, I'm going to keep it like this for now. And I'm going to do it just for fun. Just so it looks a little bit better on camera. To be honest. It's a little trick that since I'm not using this in water for this purpose, that I can put stairs and kind of make the body look smoother. But by all means, change it however you want, whatever makes it look the best to you. And here's the tedious part of trying to curve the stairs into the body here. I really should have been less lazy and place a block behind those, but whatever. I mean, curve it in like that. It looks all right. I like it. All right. So next, I believe I begin to work on the tang and make it dark oak completely. Let's see. No, okay. I'm gonna still work on the body, and I'm gonna put a railing in. And this railing is different from what I usually do, but it's not bad to change up what you do every once in a while. All right. So you're gonna start having your boat kind of look like that from above. And again, I'm gonna flip it over. I'm gonna copy and flip it over and mirror it that way. So it will become a full, complete boat by the end of this video, I promise you. That's what I did with that one. And there will be more details like that birch line going through I'm gonna add because, well, I just like it. I like the way it looks in the end. Alright, here's where I'm gonna make the tang of the boat. I'm not sure what it's actually called, but I'm gonna go ahead and switch that out with dark oak because it looks nice and it has a nice contrast to it. Right, I'm gonna do that all the way around. Ooh, I missed that. Sure, someone is yelling at the screen about that. Right, then I'm just gonna pull it and I'm gonna drag it all the way along and all the way up to the top. Just like that. Alright, let's see if I do it. I stepped back and I thought, I don't really like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab a dark oak stair right there. I'm surprised I found that. That's so quick. Ew. Words are not my friend today. Right. So now you have that nice little bit of contrast there. And on the rudder, which is what this area I guess would be, is I'm just gonna go ahead and fill that in. In retrospect, I should have put a little design on that. And I fly back. I don't really like that shape, so I'm gonna go ahead and curve it out a little bit more, and that looks a lot better, in my opinion. And remember, a lot of this is gonna be covered up with water. So I've flown in. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna change the body shape a bit in the end there. But now I'm just gonna go ahead and bring in the deck. Go ahead and bring that all the way in, and I'm gonna go ahead and fill in there just to prevent further trouble. And I'm gonna do that all the way down. And I do apologize if it's a long video. I might split it into two. I don't want to be that guy who's just he's just doing it for the money. I'm not. I just I don't want it to feel like YouTube was. I don't want it to feel like a chore. I want it to be a hobby because I enjoy doing this stuff. I enjoy building. That's kind of the reason I like playing World Civ so much, is they always have something interesting going on. Right? So now I'm going to smooth out the railing, and this is a different type of railing. I usually don't use stairs because you can walk up on top of it and it gets annoying over time. And it's going to have kind of a mixture of what you see up there, where it's kind of like that loop. And I wish I would have caught this sooner, but I have to delete what I'm doing here in a second because it's a too wide center, and I don't like working with even blocks or even spaces. Of course, there are some moments where I don't mind working with even spaces, but yeah. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and move that up a block, just like that. And in the end, it didn't hurt the looks, in my opinion. It improved it because I like the one block center, so I'm going to curve that one so it doesn't connect. Okay. So it's looking pretty good now. And I did make a mistake on the sails later on. I didn't connect them to the body, so you're going to have to do that on your, figure that one out on your own. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the masts with my oak logs, is what I'll be using for this. I kept on breaking the block. I was breaking in a new mouse. I'm not hearing the sounds to the game, so I hope those are there. If not, I do apologize. The whole game kind of bugged out. I'm gonna have to fiddle around with settings, and if that doesn't work, then I'm just gonna have to figure out a new recording software. But now what you're gonna see is I'm tilting the sails back, mainly because it adds texture and depth, and stop here because that top sail I don't do, so I'm gonna shorten that by like 3 blocks and remove that third sail altogether. But now I'm gonna take this dark oak and replace it, and those are gonna be the starts of the things. So I'm gonna take these out, and I'm gonna curve these as well. So I'm gonna arc them back. Sorry. Um, it adds it's just kind of like the wind is blowing in them, and it's bending them back a bit. It's just kind of what I've always done. I don't know how realistic it is, but in a game where everything's a square, you're gonna need the help making it look better. So I try raising everything, lowering everything, and I didn't. This boat is just too small for me to be able to pull off that top sail, and it takes me for. It just looks awkward too with that top sail. So I'm gonna raise that one up, which is I keep it like that. No, I raise it up one more, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna raise that one up. One more, watch. Yep, there we are, and that's the final spot for that one. And my keyboard bugged out there for a second, if you can tell. So I always make the bottom sail the largest, then I kind of layer it up, and that top one's gonna get removed. In my head here, I'm thinking, I don't know how good that's gonna look, but I'm gonna keep it just because the picture that I saw kind of had it like that. Of course, I base them usually off multiple pictures, so in my mind, I'm like, well, not all of them had 3 layers, but here I'm checking my CPU, trying to catch it going up to 100 and seeing if that's the reason. But now I'm gonna replace these ones, the back sail, with dark oak, and I really should have added more texture to the back one and not made it just so flat. I should have made it curve back a bit, but I didn't. I don't know. I just didn't want to have to fiddle around with it too much. I'm going for a simple boat. I didn't want to overdo it because when I get down to it, I spend 4 hours on one of those large boats fiddling around with sails and masts, and it's just no fun. So a real quick boat that I'm not worrying about details is a lot better. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add more detail with that birch log I was talking about. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna just go ahead and place a rough sketch of how I'm gonna want these to lay out, and I'm gonna have it kind of swoop up like that because it looks fancy, in my opinion. And then I'm gonna have it go to the front as well. And I don't like the way this looks in the end, so I'm gonna rip it out and redo it. And if you guys don't like the way it looks, then I strongly suggest or encourage that people redo what they like. Don't be happy with your first draft. Strive to do the best that you can when doing this. If you have to redo it 10 times, it just makes it all the better, in my opinion. If you do it 10 times and you're happy with it that 10th time, if you're not happy with it in the beginning, then it's just not worth keeping, in my opinion. I mean, if you're on a deadline, do the best that you can, but yeah, so now I'm going to replace it with stairs to give it a little bit more texture, and that always helps. It doesn't make it as bulky looking, and it kind of puts it back there, so less attention's drawn to it, so it always looks a little bit better. But, alright, so here we go, and